Hello there, YouTube. It is ChosenTCG here once again with another deck video. Now, I was thinking, is this before of putting this deck up? I actually thought, okay, well, is this a meta deck? Is this a non-meta deck? Is this a fun deck? And I thought this deck is an anti-meta deck, of course, counter fairies. And I put it in the fun deck because really, this deck all like everything. This deck depends all on the format. If you're playing Insector heavy format, this deck is not good because everything you put in the deck is just gonna be popped. Right, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Like the side deck of this deck is heavily influenced on the side deck, and the main deck of this deck is heavily influenced on the general meta today. But I don't want to bore you guys with that. I'll just get onto the deck. So as always, the deck list will be posted below. If you want to check out a duel with this deck, go to my channel. Type in Counter Fairy. Search this deck up, see a duel, see this deck in action, make it yourself, whatever, right? Okay, so the deck itself: three Bountiful, triple Thunder King, triple Warrior Lady, one Artist, double Vandalgyon, double Cyber Dragon, one Jar, double duality, Dark Hole Monster Reborn, double Forbidden Lance, one Book of Moon, triple Solemn, double Bribe, double what is this? Seven Tools of the Bandit, double Magic Drain, one Divine Wrath, one Drastic Drop Off, and then the double Starlight roll, two Bottomless Trap Hole, one Mirror Force, and one 2D Prison. Okay, so this is kind of like a good skeleton of any counter fairy deck slash permission slash uh, what's this called, anti-meta deck. Pretty much, if you don't know what Bountiful Artemis does, when a counter trap is activated, you draw one card, and it has to resolve. I think that's like the new way of new text. But yeah, anyway, great card. Um, so like the whole reason of counter fairies is because of this one card. I believe like this is like the only fairy card. No, no, no. There's honest. Okay, so obviously bountiful, protect it, set like five. Let your opponent go. Protect this card. Protect everything. Stop your opponent. Counter everything. That's counter fairies. Um, Thunder King, king of the meta, king of the anti-meta card. That's it. Enough said. Stop special summoning. Stop searching. Stop everything. Dita Warrior Lady, same thing. Anti-meta card. One honest, two Vandalgyon for you know, you guys don't know the effect. If you negate a card, depending on the negation, you get to activate one of these effects. If it's a spell, inflict 1500 to your opponent's life points. If you negate a trap, destroy one card your opponent controls. And if you if you negate, a monster effect, you get to special summon one monster from your graveyard. So great card overall. Obviously, it could be dead in your hand, but since you're running so many counter traps, it's got to be alive sooner or later, right? So two Cyber Dragon, kind of just for the new Gear Gias and just baiting out cards in general. It's a good beat stick, and then Morphing Jar and the double duality could to add consistency, add draw power. I was gonna run triple Upstart, but that was like, you know what? It does not make any difference. Making your opponent gain 1,000 just so you could like thin down one card in your deck. I mean, you can do that, but no, I don't really want to do that. So, one Dark Hole Monster Reborn, staple, double Lance with one Book of Moon, protect your monsters, get over big monsters, etc. Triple Sol, now the counter traps, which I think I'm running 11. Okay, 11 in my main deck. So, you know, just self-explanatory, solemn warning, double bribe and double seven tools, I mean, protect your monsters, protect their summons. Like, if your opponent warnings and you go, okay, no bribe or seven tools of the bandit, you get to draw. I think you get to draw two cards. Because two cards were activated in response to this card. Um, However, I'm not sure though. I mean, like based off of this new text, it says it resolves immediately. Draw one card. So I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it works. But yeah, you guys can look it up. Like, so what I was talking about is if you summon Bountiful on your opponent's Solemn Warnings, can you activate Dark Bribe to negate, and then you will draw two cards because two cards were resolved before this card hits the field. I don't know how it works, but still, this is a great card overall, right? And then two Magic Drains to stop spells. It's always going to be like a good card, because unless you want to like if you're putting dark holes and then you have to activate dark magic drain, you have to stop it. If they have a normal spell card and they discard it, I mean, they lose a card, they lose two cards, they get rid of your field. I mean, it really depends, but it's still a really powerful card. Divine Wrath, Drastic Drop Off. Divine Wrath is kind of, depending on the format, you gotta use one, two, three. It depends. Drastic Drop Off is just a tech. It's basically, discard one of those cards to the graveyard when your opponent draws. Let's see, Bottomless, Double Road. So all these are just basically like, remove your opponent's monsters from play, just stop the summons. But yeah, all defensive cards, very permission-based deck. And this deck. Okay, wait, hold on. Let me just get to the extra deck. Extra deck is basically, you're never gonna XYZ summon for Utopia or anything else. Obviously, Stardust is pretty much for Starlight Road, and yeah, like, you don't really need an extra deck, really. Just have one just in case. But yeah, the side deck, it's not really a side deck, but extra cards you can use. Here are the kind of here's the 5 cards, which I kind of made this into a chaos build. You can actually try it out, which I thought was pretty cool. Use 3 Doom Caliber Knight along with 1 Chaos Sorcerer and 1 Blackluster Soldier. This is actually really good because if you run any deck that runs 3 Doom Cows and 2 Thunder King, it's gotta, and like all these traps, I mean, think about it, it's gotta be pretty hard to beat. And if you're putting 3 of these in and you are using 2 of these, so you have 5 darks, you can field for Chaos Sorcerer and BLS, which it really depends on how you want to play. And this deck is heavily influenced on the meta itself, so there's no set way of playing this deck. Because you might use extra copies of Divine Wrath, you might use extra copies of Deep Prison. It really depends. But this is an overall really, really fun deck to play, and I hope that most of you don't just think this is a crappy deck because Bountiful is a really weak card. Because first of all, if it was 1500, that would have made this deck like crazy good, because you could special summon it with Shining Angel or search it with Sangan. But because it's 1600, it's like I can't search it, and it's not a strong monster. So that kind of screws over, counter fairies. That makes them, somewhat weak because of this guy's stats overall. But yeah, anyway, like, you should definitely go out and try this deck. Go on Duelingnetwork, make it yourself, and try it. It's really fun to just stop every single move your opponent throws at you. And then one other thing I want to say, that because Honest is at 1, before it was at 2, it was really like, this deck was really viable. Even like when I was at 3, it was crazy good. But now it's been weakened so much that, I mean, it's just not, top tier 0 type of deck or tier 1 type of deck. And it struggles. It's slow. I'm going to admit, it's a really slow deck. It's somewhat inconsistent at times, but the dualities and morphing jars help you. If you don't draw this, and you sometimes might draw like 5 monsters, you're completely screwed. But any case, this is a fun deck. Try it. It's fun. Play it with your friends. Go to locals. You might win. But definitely don't try to take this to a YCS, because there are better decks than this out there. Yeah, so even though it's my favorite deck, I'm going to have to say, if you want to win a YCS, don't take this. Now, you could probably win a YCS if you tried really hard, but if you're like someone like Jeff Jones or Billy Break, but hopefully counter fairies in the future will get maybe one more Honest back, maybe get some more fairy support. But as of now, this is the build, and hopefully you guys, oh my gosh. Okay, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I just got kicked out due to inactivity. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoy. Subscribe, thumbs up, comment, do whatever, and peace out, guys.